Okay, imagine this. A shy girl, a big high school prom, and a night that goes way off script. This isn't your typical feel-good teen movie. It's the story of Carrie White, a girl who just wanted to fit in, but ended up discovering something extraordinary about herself. It's a mix of teenage drama, awkward moments, and a bit of supernatural flair, kind of like if high school angst had magical powers. Let's dive in, because this story is one you won't forget anytime soon. The locker room incident. We start in the most awkward place possible, the girls' locker room. It's noisy, chaotic, and full of teenage girls chatting away, slamming lockers, and getting ready to leave gym class. Enter Carrie White, quiet, reserved, and always on the sidelines. Then something happens that changes everything. Carrie gets her first period. Carrie has no idea what's going on, and in her panic, she calls for help. But instead of helping, the other girls, led by Chris Hargensen, start teasing her. They throw things like towels and toilet paper, turning the moment into a humiliating scene. Miss Collins, the gym teacher, rushes in and shuts it all down. She realizes Carrie doesn't even know what a period is, which breaks her heart. Miss Collins sends Carrie home early, hoping to give her a chance to recover. On the way home, something strange happens. A boy teases Carrie, and with just a look, she somehow makes him stumble. It's like Carrie's emotions are doing things. At home with Mrs. White. Home isn't exactly a safe space for Carrie. Her mother, Mrs. White, is strict and deeply religious, to the point of being extreme. When Carrie tells her what happened at school, Mrs. White doesn't comfort her. Instead, she insists that it's because of sin. Her frustration is building, and as she sits in the room, things start to shake, just slightly. The prom invitation. Back at school, Miss Collins isn't done with the girls who bullied Carrie. She forces them into a tough detention session, making them run and exercise until they're exhausted. Chris, the ringleader, refuses to participate and gets herself banned from the prom. Furious, Chris blames Carrie for everything. Meanwhile, Sue Snell, one of the girls who joined in the teasing, feels genuinely bad. She wants to make it up to Carrie, so she comes up with an idea. She asks her boyfriend, Tommy Ross, to take Carrie to the prom. Tommy's confused but agrees because Sue insists it's the right thing to do. When Tommy asks Carrie, she's convinced it's a prank. After all, why would someone like Tommy ask her? But Tommy's kindness wins her over, and after a little encouragement from Miss Collins, Carrie finally says yes. Chris's cruel plan. While Carrie is getting ready for the prom, sewing her own beautiful dress, Chris is plotting revenge. She ropes in her boyfriend, Billy, and together they come up with a mean-spirited prank. They sneak into a farm, collect a bucket of pig's blood, and rig it up in the school gym. Their plan? Drop the bucket on Carrie during her big moment, prom night. When prom night arrives, Carrie looks stunning. For once, she feels like she belongs. Tommy is a total gentleman, and Carrie starts to let her guard down. Miss Collins even shares a sweet story about her own prom, telling Carrie to enjoy every second. The night feels magical. Carrie and Tommy dance, laugh, and for the first time, she feels accepted. Then comes the big moment. Carrie and Tommy are crowned prom queen and king. Carrie walks to the stage, nervous but happy. It's like all her dreams are coming true. Sue, who's at the prom watching from the sidelines, notices Chris and Billy hiding under the stage. She realizes what's about to happen and rushes to stop them. But Miss Collins sees Sue and mistakes her intentions, throwing her out of the gym just as Chris pulls the cord. The bucket tips, and the pig's blood pours down on Carrie. The gym goes silent. Everyone stares in shock, and Carrie stands frozen, covered in red. In that moment, something snaps inside her. It's like all the hurt, the teasing, and the humiliation boil over at once. Carrie's powers, those strange, unexplainable abilities, take control. The gym starts to shake, lights flicker, tables slide across the floor. It's as if the room itself is alive, reacting to Carrie's emotions. People panic and rush for the exits, but the doors slam shut. Carrie doesn't say a word as she walks out of the gym, leaving behind a scene of chaos. The gym lights go dark, and the prom ends in confusion and fear. The final confrontation. As Carrie walks home, Chris and Billy, who watched everything unfold, decide to take things further. They try to drive up behind Carrie, but Carrie senses them. With a glance, she causes their car to veer off the road, leaving it broken and useless. Back at home, Mrs. White is waiting. She's convinced that Carrie's powers are unnatural, and she blames her daughter for everything. Instead of comforting Carrie, she tries to save her in her own extreme way. But Carrie's powers, now fully unleashed, stop her. It's a quiet, emotional moment as Carrie realizes the truth about herself and her mother. Overwhelmed with guilt and sadness, Carrie retreats into herself.